Now I'm looking here, letter A, so we have just a quick revision. Sine of 3x becomes 3 cosine of 3x. Again, if you have a coefficient here, you just multiply it to the identity, right? It becomes 3 here. And then getting the derivative of sine of 3x, it becomes cosine of 3x. And then for this one, so 4 here will be multiplied in front of the identity. So you have 4. And then the derivative of cosine of 4x is a negative sine of 4x. Therefore, your final answer is 3 cosine of 3x minus 4 sine of 4x. Okay? For letter C, you now have an expression here, which is 2x minus 5. So again, we only look for the coefficient of the variable, which is 2, and so we multiply it here, so we got 2 here. And then what is the derivative of sine? It's cosine, and then just write the expression 2x minus 5. And then obviously, this one, again, if you already have a number here, now this number will be multiplied by the coefficient of this variable. So it becomes 2 times 3, therefore you have 6 here. And then, okay, this is wrong. Okay. So this should be, what is the derivative of tangent? It should be secant squared of 2x. Okay. Sorry for that. So secant squared of 2x. So this is the correct answer. All right. So how about letter F? Okay. I have 3 more examples, and then maybe we'll move on to another topic, and then we can dive to some word problems. Okay. So for numbers 5, letter F. So we have a 6 tangent of 1/2 x. So do you have your books there? And please get a pen and a paper. What is your answer for this one? Okay, can you do this? I'll give you 1 minute. Let's start. So please do number 5, letter F. If you don't have your book, just look up this. Okay. So let's derive 6 tangent of 1/2 x. So what is your answer here? Anyone? If you're finished? So that is not 50. Anyone? Letter F.
We say it. Wait, do we
Yes.
say
What's, do you what? Do you?
say it?
Oh yeah. You say it. Earlier. What's the
Uh,
answer?
is it 3 secant squared half of x?
All right. Very good. So it's 3 secant squared half of x. Okay. So this is 3 secant squared half of x. Okay. Very good. Okay. Why did that happen? So your coefficient here is a fraction of. So half times 6 is obviously it's 3. And then getting the derivative of this is secant squared half of x. Very good. View. Okay. Okay. All right. So how about letter G? All right. Letter G is a little bit tricky because you have an expression here. So what is the answer for letter G? Anyone? I'll give you maybe 30 seconds.
2 sine multiplied by pi over 4 minus x. Is it
2
right?
sine. All right. But what is the coefficient? Is it 2 or negative 2? 2, right?
Yeah, because
All
it's
right.
negative 2 times negative sine, so 2.
All right. Very good. Okay. So we have here, all right, let me do that step by step. So this is 2, right? We have 2 here. I'll just bring down 2 first. And then what is the coefficient of this? It's a negative 1, right? Okay, so times okay. So times a negative 1, right? And then the derivative of this is what? It's a negative sine of pi over therefore, your answer is, so it's 82 sine of y over 4 minus x. Okay, so very good again. Okay, so that's your answer. Okay, again, negative 2 times negative sine x, positive 2 sine y over 4 minus x. Okay, so again, just a reminder, even though the variable is behind, it's still your coefficient. Okay? So we're multiplying negative 1 to 1 identity. All right, so last example. So let's have this one. Okay, so let's have 8 sine of 3x minus 5 over 4. So what is your answer here? Hmm? Anyone among the girls? Hmm? First thing you need to know here is what is your coefficient? What is the coefficient of x? Huh? Anyone? What's the coefficient of x here? Is it just 3?
It's 3 over 4, maybe?
All right, very good. So the coefficient of x here is 3 over 4 because it's a fraction, right? So if you write this, so 3x over 4 minus 5 over 4. It's the same thing. So basically, your coefficient is 3 over 4. Okay. So what happens? So let me do that step by step. So 3/4 times 8. Okay. 3/4 times 8. Like that. And then the derivative of sine of this is basically cosine of 3x minus 5 over 4. So what is your answer? Final answer is 6 cosine of 3x minus 5 over 4. Okay. So you guys have any questions on letter F, G, and H? Okay, so no question, sec 4? None? Okay, so let's go to our last type of trigonometric derivatives. Okay, so that would be this one. Okay, so this was yesterday. Okay, so this was yesterday. This thing here, the A. Now, what if we have indices or maybe powers or exponents? Okay, so what if we have indices in the like this, like this. Okay, so if we have sine raised to any power or any power of x, that would be this. Okay, if you remember the basic the basic rule in differentiation, wherein you have, let's say you have x cubed here. When you derive this, what do you get? It becomes 2x squared, right? So it's the same concept here, class, right? Whenever you have an index, so the index minus 1, okay, and then that index is multiplied to the identity, okay? And then class, listen, okay? After this, you need to derive this. Alright, or maybe just put cosine of the same expression again. Okay, so the cosine of the same expression. Do you have any questions? So not only this, okay, you also need to derive the identity. So how does this thing work? Alright. Alright. So let's have some examples here. Okay. Right, so this one. Okay, so this is example number 7. Okay. You guys can see my screen, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we have, I'm looking here, y is equal to sine cubed or sine to the power of 3 of 2x plus 1. Okay, so let's derive this. So when you derive this, Okay, again, this exponent here, or this index here, will be multiplied in front of the identity. That's why you have 3 here. Okay, and then what happens to 3? It becomes 3 minus 1. That's why you have only 2 here now instead of just 3. Okay, and then write the expression, I mean the expression again, or the angle of the identity. Okay, so do you have any question on this part here? No question? Okay. So basically, we just did this part, okay? This one. Okay, because we just copied the 2x plus 4. Okay, so there's no question here. Now, what do we do next? Alright. You don't have to do this. Okay. You can just right away put cosine of 2x plus 1 at the end of the derivative. Okay. Now, why did I show this? For you guys to see that you still need to differentiate this one. All right, look again. So we're finished here, and then you need to get the derivative of this. Okay, of the expression of this one. Okay. Now take note without the index. Okay, without the index. See, I don't have any index here anymore. Okay, so just derive this again without the index. So just sine of 2x plus 1. So bring down this. So what happens with this? So sine of 2x plus 1. So what happens with this? How do you derive this? From our previous examples. So 2 here is multiplied in front. So that's why you have 2 here. And then the derivative of this is cosine of 2x plus 1. And then just combining this, simplifying, you will get 6 from this. And then just write them as is. So sine squared of 2x plus 1, cosine of 2x plus 1. Okay. So do you have any questions on that? Alright, I know this is one of these trickier example. Okay, let's have the second one. Okay, this one is simpler one. Okay, what if you have a uh, tangent of cube x of x? Okay, so when we derive this again, it's the index will be multiplied in one. That's why you have 3 here, and then becomes 3 minus 1. Therefore, you have 2 here. So and then you just rewrite the angle, which is x. Okay, so you have this part here. And then you need to derive this thing again without the index, okay? With no index anymore, okay? You don't put the index. So again, so the derivative of tangent x is basically secant squared x. So your final answer is this. So 3 tangent squared x secant squared. Do you guys have any question with these two examples? Okay, so let's have maybe some examples. Okay. Can you guys please go to page 402? 402. 402. Okay. All right. All right. So this are my yeah, maybe last 3 examples. Okay. All right. So let's have letter A and number 7. Okay. So this one. Number 7, letter A. So again, if you have 2 sine raised to the third power of x, or sine cube x, this one. Okay. So plus you have 2 here, so bring down 2. Then this index here will be multiplied to 2. Okay, I'll just put it here in front of the identity which is sign. Okay, and then it becomes 3 minus 1, therefore you have 2 here, and then just bring down sine x, alright, this one. And then we need to get the derivative of this, okay, of the identity, right? Again, take note without the index, so with no index anymore. So just plainly sine of x. So therefore, their final answer is 6 sine squared x cosine of x. Do you have any questions from letter E? Set 4. Set 4. No questions from letter A? No? Alright. So, my next example, or maybe my second to the last example, is letter D. Okay. So, x plus 3 sine to the 5th power, and then 2x, or of 2x. Okay. So, the derivative of each term here, so when you derive x, it becomes 1. Alright, I think everyone knows that. Then plus, right, bring down 3, then 5 will be multiplied in front of the identity, therefore you have 5 here. Okay, and then what happens to 5? 5 minus 1 becomes 4. And then just bring down sine n 2x. Okay, that's it for this part. Okay, and then we still need to derive this expression here without the index. Okay, so just sine of 2x, just this. Okay, so bring down 1 and then simplify this, you get this. You get 15 sine raised to 4 of 2x. And then how do you derive this again? So 2 here will be multiplied in front. That's why you have 2 here. And then the derivative of sine of 2x is cosine of 2x. So simplifying this part here, you get 30 from 15 times 2, and then just combine your identities. Sine raised to 4 of 2x, and then cosine of 2x. Okay. Class, do you have any question with letter B? Anyone? No? No question? No question, yeah? Okay. So that is letter D. And then for my last example, okay, so let's have letter F. Okay, it's cosine of 7, it's x cosine to the 7th power of 2x. Now, you have two terms here, an x and a cosine to the 7th power of 2x. So therefore, x is my u, then cosine 7 of 2x is my v. Okay, so this is product rule. So again, it's u dv plus v du, or u times the derivative of v, and then v times the derivative of u. Okay, so that's my shortcut. Okay, so let's get the derivative of each term. So my u is x, so therefore its derivative is basically 1. And then my v is cosine to the 7th power of 2x. Now, how do you derive this? Okay. So to derive that, so again, this 7 here will be multiplied here. That's why you have 7 here. And then 7 here minus 1 becomes 6. And then just bring down cosine n 2x. Okay, and then what do? We still need to derive this, right? So we need to derive cosine of 2x, all right? Again, without the index. So simplifying this further, okay, so just bring down this part because we don't have to anything here anymore. And then how do we derive this? So it gives us a negative 2. Okay, so 2 here in front, and then the derivative of cosine is a negative sine of 2x. That's why we have negative 2 there. And then that's it. You just simplify this. And then the derivative of v is negative 14 cosine to the 6th power of 2x and sine of 2x. Yeah, it's very long. Okay. And then we still need to answer our main question, this one. Okay. So we just plug everything here into this. Okay. So let's substitute them now. So u is x, right? I have x here. And then the derivative of v is this one. Okay. So it's negative 14 cosine of 6 2x, then sine of 2x, and then plus, okay, plus v, which is this one, cosine, so then 2x, okay, and then times the derivative of u, which is 1. So, okay, so 1 times 1. So we just simplify that, guys. So what do we get now? So let me write it here. So simplifying this further, we are going to get negative 14x, okay, so this one times this, then cosine raised to 6 of 2x sine 2x plus cosine raised to 7 of 2x. Okay, so yeah, this is your answer now. Okay, this is your answer for letter F. You C and E now. So I think we got all the same answer for C and E. So C, you have cosine squared of 3x. So basically 2 here multiplied to the identity, and then you just bring down cosine and 3x. So 2 minus 1 is considered 1, so we don't put it there. And then we need to derive this, right? So derive cosine of 3x, again without the index. So we got negative 3 sine of 3x. Therefore, your answer is a negative 6 cosine 3x and sine of 3x. So you're correct. Everyone's correct here, especially 3 and 2. Right. So letter E. So letter E, so we get 4 times squared of 5x plus 3. So this was what I was talking about a while ago. If you see this, if you see any question, this you can just disregard that. Okay. So it becomes 4, and then 2 here is multiplied with 4. That's why I have 4 and 2 here. Okay. And then 2 minus 1 is 1. And then bring down tangent and 5x. So we have this. And then we need to derive this still, tangent of 5x. Again, without the index. So simplify this, you get 8 tangent 5x. And then deriving this, you get 5 here, multiplied here. So it's a 5. And then tangent of 5x becomes secant squared 5x. And then 8 times 5 gives you 40, and then just combine this. So therefore your answer is 40 tangent of 5x secant squared of 5x. That's for letter E. Okay. Now for letter H, boys, maybe you can send those works now. It's only 8:47. Okay, I'll just explain letter H now. Okay, so Tiffany and Trisha are correct. Okay. Now this letter H. Letter H, we do have cosine squared x over x. Plus, again, your first step is to identify your u and v, right? This one here. So my u is cosine squared x, my v is just x. And then you derive them right away. So deriving this, I got negative 2 cosine of x sine of x. Okay. Again, how did I get this? This times this becomes 2. And then 2 minus 1 is just 1. And then bring down cosine of x. And then you still need to derive this cosine of x. That becomes negative sign of x, right? That's why this is negative 2. Okay, so this is the differentiation of u, or the derivative of u. And then v is x, and then basically the derivative of that is just 1, number 1. So our formula here, quotient rule, is v du minus u dv over v squared. Just that. And then I'm looking here now. So substituting this onto our formula or equation here. So x or u, I mean v is x, and then the derivative of v is this one there, this one there, and then minus u, which is cosine squared x times the derivative of v is this one over x squared, and then just simplifying this. Okay, so the answer is negative 2x cosine x sin x minus cosine squared of x over x squared. Now, this is acceptable as your final answer. Okay, you don't have to. Actually, you can scatter out something on the numerator, but then, yeah, basically just the same thing. Okay, so this one is the final answer. That's the page.